The team was ready to give advice on the new trade initiative and the response to the latest diplomatic incident with Rumberg. Peter arrived late. Where were you, fuckface? He looked a little rougher than usual. It must have been drinking from the last night.
Hi there, folks. Excuse my delay. I'm sure I didn't miss anything we didn't already know.
Peter, get your act together, bro.
Hey, you are supposed to be part of this meeting an hour ago.
Iosif! He is the vice president. I think that means he probably outranks you. Punctuality is important. We are talking about serious subjects here. Yeah, I agree, Lucian, but he's my friend. I'm not gonna lie and make an excuse for Peter. I'm not even going to. Maybe this is my white northerner. I'm not even gonna call Peter out. I'm not gonna comment. I'm gonna let Pete mull on what the other twos have said. I stood in silence, which prompted Peter to answer them.
It was a one-time thing. Let's just get on with it.
I bet that's what your wife says when you're gonna have sex, huh?
Nah, not now.
That's also what she says. Oh, that was pretty good, sir. Lucian and Iosif looked at Peter before David moved away from the subject.
The vice president will be part of the trade delegation.
No! Did I say that out loud?
You don't believe in me? You don't have faith in me?
No, Peter, I need you here for very other important things. David, we can't send Peter on this. He's an idiot. He's more of an idiot than I am.
Are you sure, sir?
Wait, are you calling me more of an idiot?
Am I? The vice president will be part of the trade delegation, so it will be great to have his input on the subject as well on the Rumberg incident.
Oh, no.
Rumberg Consul Suzerain Harrington announced the closure of the 120-year-old consulate.
Almost as old as you, David.
Oh, that's hurtful. Now their diplomatic staff is leaving the city to go back to Thornburg.
He blamed the lack of security in Sordland due to the assassination and the subsequent protests, but it is obvious that they are making excuses. You know, like, Rumberg looks pretty bad, but I kind of understand them closing the consulate when ministers of parliament are being murdered in the street. Not just in the street, like right outside where we're having the presidential ball.
Bastards! First they close their consulate, and then they blame our security?
Settle down, dickhead. I'm gonna go with the second one. The first one is like, it's under control, they're playing with us. No. I think they have genuine concerns. They might be dickheads, but they have genuine concerns for their diplomatic staff in our country that is torn with gang violence and murders. Their concerns could be genuine, but this reaction is unnecessary.
Agreed. Other diplomatic missions have worked with our security units to increase the protection of staff and buildings.
Yeah, you go tell them that, Pete.
Oh, the neglect of President Alfonso and the chaos of elections delayed our diplomatic efforts. Now there are only 2 Rumberg diplomatic missions left in Sordland. One is the consulate in Dyer. The other is the embassy in Holster.
Well, they still got 2 buildings in our shithole of a country. I could say they're bluffing. Don't want to be wrong about that. I could say we're accustomed to this, but this is far more serious. I think we're going to say the middle. I must display strength to my people. Bring me weights so I can lift on TV. We can't be pushed around.
All of this may be a calculated plan of action to push us into a corner and get us to act irrationally. No one pushes baby into the corner. Oh, this is my fear. They might be looking for a Cassius Bella.
Did you just get like a Latin of the day, word day calendar?
Oh, word day calendars?
Shut up.
They might be, who's I'm on? Oh, this is my fear. They might be looking for a Cassius Ballad and are slowly spiraling downward to find reasons to wage war.
Iosif was furious. He barely kept himself from slamming the desk. I feel less and less bad. I didn't feel bad anyway about letting those immigrants in when I was in the military. Man, my old boss is a dickhead.
agree. There are worrying developments, like the smuggled arms and the build-up near the border. Our military must be buffed up to stand against a great power like Ramberg.
I want to pump you up.
Oh, we either respond to this aggressive act with a diplomatic condemnation, or we retaliate by closing our consulate in Dome.
I want to say that an escalation would be risky this early in our presidency. We should focus on creating a negative image of Ramberg in the international scene. I think Lucian might have a point, playing the long game.
Hey, the people of Sordland must be protected, no matter the cost. I say we respond equally.
I am not going to retaliate by closing the consulate in Durham. Less conversation will not bridge the gap between our people. I will do the most weak and pussy thing I can do. Write a letter to the manager of Ramberg. Write an official diplomatic response condemning this unreasonable act, declaring that Ramberg aims to destabilize Sordland and the region. Let us act like we are the calm, stable, and intelligent ones.
As you wish, Mr. President. I shall begin my work immediately, informing the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
You write that letter real good with all them letters. Swaying the international stage is key in the long-term strategy. I'm with you, Lucian.
I wish we'd reacted more strongly. If we don't confront them, they'll keep escalating the situation.
Oh, they might close down another embassy? Oh my fucking god, who cares?
I, on the other hand, am glad that we are taking the more cautious road.
You have no idea what's going on, Peter. You showed up fucking 8 hours late to this 8-hour meeting. You know, if you showed up earlier, maybe I could skip out.
There are 3 trade-related topics to address today. Which topic should we tackle first?
I'm tired of this meeting. Meetings are too long.
That's what you got when you become president.
Ugh. Let's talk about the trade negotiations with Wayland and Agnolia. I don't want to give up the good trade deal with Agnolia, because that probably helps our economy, but it probably is more important right now to secure ourselves a military ally, just in case Ramberg does go popping off.
Our primary goal would be to successfully sign at least one trade agreement with one of our smaller neighbors. We have 2 options with our trade initiative: starting new negotiations with our partner, our old one, Agnolia, to the northeast, and forming a new cooperation with Wayland to the east.
I like both of them, but tell me about the one. Can we just pick one? Tell me about the Agnolian deal.
First off, the reason behind this option is
I already know why. It's the more.
I would like to finish, please. First off, the reason behind this option is more diplomatic than economic, though, of course, we can't forego the added economic value. Agnolia is an old ally and a valuable trade partner.
And with that new highway that goes through England that's right next to Agnolia, that could be more trade between us and them.
The point where we are at with the early negotiations is around the steel trade. They are demanding that we buy their steel for a higher price. That's because they think the deal is far too unbalanced as it is. The second main demand is a privileged access to our agriculture market.
I thought we were just going to have a more even trade deal. They want all my fruits. They can't have my watermelons.
Wow. If we are to fulfill their demands in return, they are offering a full alliance with Sordland against Ramsberg.
All right, now you're talking my language.
Looking at the current advances of Ramberg near our borders, having a coalition against Ramberg would prove extremely useful. Obviously, there will be consequences for entering a full alliance, mainly the issues around Hygeland. Valgsland has clear intention on taking over the island one way or another.
Is that this little island? It must be this Hygeport. Yeah, Hygeland. So Agnolia has it, and then these guys want to take it. So, let's see, where was I?
Valgsland has clear intentions on taking over the island one way or another, and entering a military alliance with Agnolia will make them furious. I want to state my support for the decision to stick to our old ally Agnolia. Even though I disagree with their demand to relax immigration, we have cooperated with them on many issues in the past.
Alright, so everybody seems in agreement.
Agnolia is a solid partner for us. David and the President worked on the previous comprehensive trade agreement in the 30s. There are obviously subjects that we would still need to tackle, like our economies, the traded goods, and what to do with immigration and all that. My opinion is that this is a good deal, and that we should go for it. The new Agnolian Prime Minister is trying to improve the existing relationship.
Alright, I'm on board, dickweeds. Let's just do it.
The downside is that we would need to make concessions. A reality of any...
Shut the fuck up!
I was done.
Alright. You know what? I'd be open to creating a new agreement that would satisfy all sides. You know, it means we take a risk in case they get drawn into a war, but we try and increase the power of our base with a good ally. I'm open to a new agreement that would satisfy all sides. Do it. So let it be written. So let it be done.
And that would be the best outcome.
Yes, I agreed with you 80 minutes ago.
If you decide that Agnolia is a good option, another point is that they have a very democratic system.
Yeah, great. I'm already sold on him, bro.
Is also an avid supporter of relaxed immigration.
Yeah, I know. Fine.
Since we all said we'll keep immigration relaxed, it will help us.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. You already said how old you're getting. How many hours do you have left in this life? And this is how you want to spend them?
I like repeating myself. It's fun. Starting the highway construction in England plays a part too.
I know. Yes. This is really awesome here. It is really awesome that the game devs marked that we are building the road up there. Regardless, if we're going to increase our regional influence to previous levels, we might need to make amends with our neighbors. Alright, go apologize, Lucian. Ultimately, the decision will always be up with you and... What? Ultimately, the decision will be up to you, as always. Tell me about the trade deal with Wayland, then.
Dealing with a fractured country like Wayland has its positives and its negatives. Although it will be lucrative in the short term, there are risks associated with dealing with such a country. They are proposing co-investment projects and a no-tariff agreement. They are also offering oil in return for attracting foreign capital interests from Sordland.
I don't like the idea of a no-tariff agreement, because then we can't protect our home industries.
However, it is possible that there will be international ramifications of getting closer with a country like Wayland. All in all, this is a very lucrative deal for us. However, we need to think about the consequences.
Can you do both?
I certainly don't support the decision to become friendlier with Wayland. We carried their burdens for decades. Their migrants flooded our country, and now they're expecting a deal from us. Maintaining influence with Wayland could prove useful. Yes, it is risky. But think about our influence on an underdeveloped region like that. We can also sell more products and easily enter their market. I'm of the opinion that it's simply too risky. Yes, we would gain resources and immediate capital, but I am afraid of the consequences.
I don't know what to say, honestly. David has been right about most of this. But I don't know, economic opportunity? You know what, I'm going to say fuck it, we're going to go for it. We need to fix the economy. I don't care if it's risky. I'm going to side with Peter. And I think Lucian. The return is too lucrative to pass on, David, regardless of the risk. We need to fix this economy. The migrant crisis was one of the reasons behind the destabilization of Sordland. I would like to point out that it was due to Wayland.
If we go forward with the deal, when the time comes, there is the topic of immigration to consider. Victor Smolak is a known isolationist. Our promise to keep our immigration policy relaxed will not help at all. He blames us for bringing Western interests to the region. He also doesn't want his political opponents to flee here.
He should want that. It's a safety valve.
If his opponents leave and come here, they're not bugging him no more.
I personally don't like the idea of getting too close to Wayland.
Me too. Agreed. I still think we should give it a try.
Does that mean I don't get to be closer to Agnolia? I'm going to be really mad if it doesn't. Because I definitely want the Agnolian deal, and I'm willing to risk the Wayland deal. Our campaign promise to steer Sordland towards the west in Arcadia will have some effect on negotiations. Maybe that'll help us with the country to the south of us, Lesbia, though. Oh, especially with Wayland. As you know, the current affairs of Wayland are partly a result of the United Cortana's support of Victor Smolak. This will be a problem, but definitely worth trying. Wait, now you're on board?
As for Agnolia, this promise has made them cautious, which might make it harder to get a good deal. We also need to consider the effects of our economic doctrine plan. The fact that we headed towards the market economy will have an influence. Good negotiators optimize the interests, which makes the differences become trivial, allowing both sides to reach a deal.
Wow, this is some smart, Pete.
Very true, Mr. Vector. We have a lot of time to prepare before the scheduled visits to Wayland and Agnolia. I believe this gives a brief overview of our current options. Our trade delegation will begin work towards the end of the year. We expect final negotiations and the signings of trade agreements to happen next year.
Why did everything happen next year? Do it now. Do it now.
I'm very much looking forward to visiting Stourport and Rawclowitz with party animals like David and Simon.
Peter laughed. Iosif narrowed his eyes and stared at him. Shit, do I ask about Rizia? Because Rizia is that kingdom to the south that is having problems with their neighbor. The Grand Duchy or whatever.
The nation of Lesbia is a centralized constitutional monarchy led by King Romus Taurus, the grandson...
Is it supposed to say Lesbia or Rizia?
The grandson of Queen Liza Taurus the Great, and the son of King Valero Taurus the Frail.
The kingdom is a...
Yeah, I think it was supposed to say Rizia here, not Lesbia.
The kingdom is a devout nation that wielded considerable influence in southern Macopa. Before the reign of Valero, the country has lost some territory due to internal strife.
The Alfonso government signed vital trade agreements with King Romus Taurus, benefiting both nations at a time of need. Attempting at further cooperation stalled out, or attempts did, due to the king's blood ties to Rumberg.
Interesting. What are the blood ties between Rizia, which is a ways away from us, as you can see we're Sordland, Rizia, and our threatening neighbors Rumberg?
In the 1930s, King Romnus married Princess Lena Livingston, the youngest daughter of King Alfred Livingston II, sister of Queen Beatrice Livingston, the queen who's in charge of Rumberg.
It was a political marriage that benefited Rizia, helping save it from downfall. The two nations are close, to say the least.
Best buds.
The Torres and the Livingston family should be considered allies for the time being. However, from a practical standpoint, they are far from each other, too far even to provide military support. Both countries are also part of the worldwide network of monarchs, known as Grace.
What, they have a club?
The framework is mostly financially and politically motivated due to the pressures of Malvinianism and democracy.
So the kingdoms got together to form a group because they're like, oh no, man, freedom and communism. This is a threat.
All these kings and queens disagree more than agree, but they're forced to tolerate each other's differences. Imagine if Karanti and the SBC cast the world's remaining monarchs in a soap opera. Nobody would want to watch that, Pete. Nobody would.
Oh, wait, I can say watch the hell out of that. I doubt that he would allow it. Let's just stay on point.
Sure.
Lucian knocked on the table.
We should be more concerned with...
Peter interjected and reached into his pockets.
Actually, a friend of Gus called Rusty gifted me this beautiful piece of full Rizian gold coin. You know? They say it helps you find love. Look!
Dude, you're already married. You don't need to look for love.
Because I found it?
No, because you're married. Love dies then.
That's a horrible... Maybe you're right.
You shouldn't listen to him.
Peter pulled out an ornamental coin and put it on the table. It was so polished that it caught reflections of light in the room.
Ah, you're blinding me, Pete!
Lucian was clearly frustrated. You know what? I'm gonna ask the concerned friend question. You don't need help finding love. You got Evelyn, right there, Petey? Your great wife?
Yeah, sure. She's the greatest.
Yeah, I know. I like her too.
Moving on.
Let's discuss the deal potential and what's on the table.
It's a cold gold coin. That's what's on the table. Ah, that's great. I like it too.
If you imbeciles are done with your stupid humor...
He's no fun.
I know, we're the best.
Alright, let's discuss the deal potential and what's on the table.
From what I've gathered, there is no clear offer yet. The interest clearly seems to be more control over the gas produced.
Hell, I produce a lot of gas.
Oh, sir. The gas produced and sold in Sordland. I suspect that this must be related to the recent tensions on the coast of the Palace. Mr. Manager?
Oh, Manger. Gus Manger. He's one of the dudes that's in our administration.
Mr. Manger is working out the details to get more concrete headline terms. Of particular interest are the gas fields in Narble and the Nargis regions. And they must be related to gas arm operations. Gus has ties with people around that corporation. Even though there is another CEO, Ewald Alfonso is still chairman.
Hey, he was the guy who was president before us.
Gasum is a private corporation, a fact that limits our control over any foreign investment. Tarkin Sol's Energy Protection Act of 1933 specifically limits the purchases of Sordish Energy Company shares by foreign nationals to 10%.
You know, I hate to say something nice about Tarkin Sol, but I get it. You're trying to protect the home industry by not allowing foreigners to buy out our natural gas company. Well, gas, oil, all this shit.
Ewald Alfonso adjusted this law in 1948 and increased it up to 20%.
Oh, that was probably so Alfonso could sell shares and make money.
Anything above that requires us to change the Emergency Protection Act. Ewald holds most of Gasum's cards in his hand still.
So the only reason... Why would we change that? I assume there's going to be a reason to? Is that so Ewald can make more money selling more shares? You know, I'm going to say it outright. I see a case for Tarkin Sol's regulation. Energy security is incredibly important for our nation.
We don't want to find ourselves in the energy crisis situation of the early 1930s, where nations like Rumburg and Lesbia leached off our weakened position and charged us triple the cost per cubic ton.
Exactly.
They smelled weakness, and thanks to initiatives of the Sol government and the technocrats, the nation survived those hardships.
No matter how much people criticize Sol these days, the Colonel is the reason why Sordland can stand mostly independent in this age.
I worry that if Sol ever comes back from his island Napoleon style and throws a coup, that dickhead here will not be on our side.
I'm keeping a close watch on this situation.
Lucian pulled out a pen and took a few notes. David coughed a bit and then continued talking.
From our diplomatic channels, we can tell that Lesbia still is very interested in Sordish petrol, whereas Rumburg wants more natural gas resources. As a sovereign nation, we must protect our resources. Our energy independence is part of our national security concern. Gasum handles most of our gas production.
You know, maybe I missed something, but why are we talking about Gasum now? Well, this meeting was for Rumburg and for trade deals. I feel like this meeting has gone on a little bit long. Can we just get to the point here? I'm going to say we should protect our energy independence, but we don't know the offer specifics yet.
Oh, I agree, but Gasum is a private company. Even though it mostly supplies the government, we have little control over it.
I agree.
If Rizia wants to buy more than 20% of shares allowed by the protectionism laws, then the government can step in and make changes to the EPA.
Why would we do that? Why are you wasting my time with this shit?
Precisely, but we don't know if this will be the case. There is a scenario in which they might invest within the EPA limitations. We just need to hear more before weighing the options.
They never revealed much about their involvement to me, but I always had a feeling that Alfonso's crew was more linked to Gassam than they seemed.
I have information that the CEO that replaced Alfonso is a loyalist. Alfonso still is the chairman of Gassam and a de facto key figure. Additionally, the National Business Council chairman, Mikhail Aven, and Minister Gus Manger have shares in the company and preside over the board.
Wait, a member of our administration is on the board? Oh, that could be a conflict of interest. Yeah, we're gonna go. I don't even care about one or two. The shareholder links raise questions regarding Alfonso and Manger's motivations. We do not want to get into sticky business with people.
I suspect that the corporation isn't doing well, and they are seeking investments. Any investment into Gassam will enrich the owners, but might also lead to more jobs and growth.
Okay, so what I take it here is Gassam might have some financial issues. I don't know, man. This seems like a whole mess we should not touch with a 10-foot pole when we got a guy in our cabinet or whatever that is a part of the company. And then, like, the ex-president is a major part of the company.
Any further comments, esteemed cabinet members?
The room went silent and no one stepped forward. It was noticeable how much people respected Wissy. He carried the soul of Sordland as a symbol of the past. Don't you drop that.
I think this summarizes all we know and what we stand to gain, Mr. President. What are your thoughts?
We're going to have to wait and hear more from Mr. Manger about whatever this investment into our country is going to be.
If there's one thing Gus is good at, it's making deals. I'm curious how it will develop. It's mostly out of the hands of the Foreign Ministry for affairs now.
I will assist in analyzing the political implications, Mr. Wissy.
Oh, thank you. Our support staff and I will be working towards the next steps after receiving more context from Mr. Manger. Our ambassador in Port Trezan is in communication with Laurento Esquibel and Rizian Council of Foreign Affairs already. Well, that concludes our meeting, Mr. Rayne.
It is about time!
You guys took forever. I'm gonna be like, get the fuck out. I'm gonna be nice, though. Thank you all for coming.
I will take my leave, then.
See you, Lucian.
Sir!
See you, dickhead. The meeting concluded and the team dispersed. Our diplomatic action plan officially began. Man, that meeting took forever. Oh no, there's so many more things. News and all these other problems. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. I think I'll save some of that for next time. I'm certainly not going to read that all right now. Uh-oh. And something from the Cantana Pact, like the Warsaw Pact. I don't want to know what any of these new problems are. I just want to go home and cry to my wife. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Maybe I'll see you next time.